Wonderful. Warm welcome, everyone. So this session is inspired by a kind of inner nudge I've been getting for the last few weeks to just show up and just make myself empty and available and see what comes through. And usually when I get nudges like that, I act on them pretty quickly, but this time there was a bunch of things to take care of. So it's taken a few weeks before I've had a chance to come around to actually do this. So I don't know what I'm going to be sharing, if anything. I just want to be present. I just want to be open. And I invite you, anyone who's joining me live or watching the recording of this, to also join me in just being open, being receptive, being present. Unclenching the fist of the mind. Unclenching the fist of the mind and the heart. One important thing I want to mention is this kind of, whatever you want to call it, offering, sharing, is not about me giving you something, me giving you some information. It's actually you tuning in to you tuning in to your own inner source. And I'm just being opportunity for that, a reminder for that. So sometimes I find that people will project something onto me that, oh, I'm transmitting something, I'm giving something, and I think that's inaccurate and that's problematic, because it was never about this person doing anything in particular. So with that understanding, very joyfully, very full of wonder, I would say, full of wonder, being open, being receptive, and just join me. You can have your eyes open or closed. It can be like a meditation, or it can just be something you're listening to. In all cases, it's you connecting to you. And it'll do what it needs to do. Something in you will get cleansed, maybe. Something in you will settle, maybe. And something in you will get aligned, maybe. And something in you will be okay, even if none of that happens, maybe. So within myself, I just experience a lot of emptiness and some kind of really subtle flow. And it's guiding me in. It's guiding me into this experience of now. And sometimes our inner being, our deeper mind, communicates with us using some kind of image. So one image that comes up for me, come up several times, is the image of, just light pouring down, and then emanating out. So light pouring down and emanating out of every pore of my being, emanating out. Light pouring down, emanating out, forward, sideways, backward, down, above, all directions. Light pouring down, emanating out. To the point where even you can barely even distinguish a body. And when there's no body, there's no actually boundary, isn't it? Because usually the body is the beginning of I, and beyond the body is the beginning of you and the world. But when the body also disappears, then there is no in and out, there's no separation. So that image is really beautiful and powerful. And you can see what listening to that does to you. It's like the deeper mind communicating, reminding me, reminding you, reminding us of something that deep down we know, but we might have not trusted, might have forgotten. And it's really quite delicious, quite relaxing for me to not feel the pressure to teach anything, transmit anything, transform anything. Just sitting here talking about nothing in particular. Sitting here transmitting nothing in particular. The transmission of nothing. Which is so difficult for our normal calculating mind. Is it worth being on this call? Is it worth, watching this video, listening to this video? What am I going to get from it? Always trying to get something. What am I going to get from it? At least tell me you'll give me peace. At least tell me you'll give me clarity. But there's no such promise. And just stepping out of that game of what can I get from this? What can I get from this? What's worth noting down from this? What's worth remembering from this? Just stepping out of that for a bit. Itself is a bit of a relief. And so it's not really about conveying anything or teaching anything. It's just about being available. Like right now, just sitting here, I'm making myself available to this moment, available to some kind of inner stillness, inner silence, available to, you know, could call it love, ease, just having a cup of tea. And the sense I'm getting is something is happening energetically, getting the image of ironing a wrinkled shirt. And as you iron the wrinkled shirt, with each stroke, things get, smoothed out. So even though we're not talking about anything in particular, energetically, there seems to be, at least for me, something happening. And it's actually barely noticeable, but it's there. And something, and I feel we're connected, so it may resonate for you as well. I feel in recent days, something very deeply has settled. And the beauty is, I'm not even trying to hold on to it. I'm not trying to make a story out of it. I'm not trying to hold on to it. And something very deeply has settled in a way that's really obvious and really unshakable. And it offers no kind of guarantee of any kind. It doesn't offer me a guarantee that, oh, I'll never get confused again, or I'll never have problems again, or I'll never get agitated again. But somehow one is not afraid of those things. How beautiful is that? Not afraid of getting agitated, not afraid of getting upset, not afraid of getting confused. Not afraid of losing whatever clarity or settled feeling has come. And that's really refreshing. It's like when I lose it, that's a different kind of love. It's empathy. I can empathize with all the other times in my life that I've lost it. And all the other times in the world, all of us lose it. And it's empathy. Like, wow, of course. Of course, that's how it feels. So I am absolute ease. And I have the power to create the illusion that I'm not, that I can lose it. Isn't that something? I am absolute ease. And I have the power to convince myself that I need to do X, Y, Z in order to return to that absolute ease. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And if I don't do it, if I don't wake up early in the morning and do my practice, if I fight with someone in the day, if I don't resolve that, if I don't come to a state of flow again, if you're not all on the same page, then I will lose access to this. What an amazing, impressive illusion. What an impressive illusion. Wow. That I am this absolute ease. And from this ocean of ease, this little wave arises. This little wave arises of this life. And I have the power to believe I am the wave. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So even the dis-ease, even the agitation, even the confusion is yet another testament to my immense power. It's not a testament, it's not evidence of my failure or my limitation. It's a testament to my awesome power. You'll probably have to look beyond the words and really feel what I'm trying to convey. Otherwise, your mind will come up with all kinds of arguments. Look beyond the words. Feel into these words. Feel beyond the words. It's not me giving you some information. It's you remembering, uncovering, revealing something that maybe you already know, but maybe you haven't been reminded in a while. That's all. I have the awesome power to create illusion and be deceived by my own illusion. And the moment I realize I have that awesome power, poof, illusion is dissolved. At least momentarily, it's dissolved. When you remember it's a movie, are you, in that moment, are you affected by the movie? Aren't you affected by the movie only in the moments you forget it's a movie? But in the moments you know it's a movie and you take in the full movie screen or the full television screen, oh, this is happening on a television screen, this is happening on a movie screen. In that moment, can you have emotional activation in that moment? Check. That's such a powerful statement that nothing can trouble me but my own imagination. Nothing can trouble me but my own imagination. It's such a powerful statement. And nothing can free me than the recognition it's my own imagination. I'll repeat that. Nothing can liberate me, nothing can free me, nothing can console me, nothing can soothe me apart from the instant recognition, oh, it's my imagination. Hmm. So I want to come back to that image, which I mentioned a little while back, the image of, which seems to be, at least in my case, the image of something like in the form of a, like a coded message in the form of an image of light pouring down the head, light pouring down from above, and then just emanating out, streaming out from every pore, every fiber of one's being, to the point where even the body starts to disappear. And in and out disappear. The meaning of in and out makes no sense because there is no in and out. And as I paint that picture for you, just notice what happens. It's some kind of a coded message. It's some kind of an energetic imprint. And it'll have a very specific meaning in your case. The meaning may be different than what it is for me. And the more empty you are, the more open you are, the more available you are, the more vacant you are, then the more this light can stream through, this energy can stream through. You want to call it grace, you want to call it blessings, you want to call it love. It can stream through, move through. And somewhere in the process, something in you gets smoothed out, aligned, settled, still. Maybe just a little bit, but it does. This question, which I've received, and maybe even I've had for a very long time, that all that's good, but how do you sustain it? All that's good, but how do you remember it? All that's good, but how do you practice it? And look carefully at that question. That question is coming from fear, is it not? It's coming from the fear of losing this simplicity, this beauty. It's a fear. Look at it for what it is. It's a fear. We're afraid of losing this. As my day gets busy, I'll lose this. As my loved one looks at me that way or says those words which I don't like, I'm going to lose it. As I get into my phone, into my WhatsApp, into my social media, I'm going to lose it. And again, why are we afraid to lose it? Only because we haven't truly recognized that this is who we are. This is who we are. And we have the awesome power to create the illusion that we're not. And that's a moment of empathy. That's a moment of sympathy. It's like they're both tuning in, like tuning in to yourself is settling. And tuning into these diverse feelings and thought forms and activity, you're tuning into the world of form. You're tuning into the world of manifestation. Or whether you're on the surface level, the level of waves, or you're deep down, it's still the ocean. So usually we have some kind of image of how it's supposed to look like. Always be okay, always be settled, never get angry, never get upset, never get confused. And isn't that an image? And that image is in opposition to our experience. So who am I? Who are you? Who are we? Who are all of us without this need to preserve this moment, to own this moment? Another deeper layer of ease, another deeper layer of rest, another sense of a deeper freedom. Even the freedom from having to maintain, sustain any state. And again, it's so soothing for me to have this thought that I'm here to transmit nothing. I'm here to transmit nothing. And what's it like for you to receive nothing? You remember nothing, internalize nothing, integrate nothing. Is it time wasted? Or is it time tasted? A unique moment which will never exactly be like this ever again. So I'm getting in touch with my innate okayness, my innate wholeness. And then perhaps by resonance, you too are beginning to get aware of your innate okayness, completeness, wholeness. And it's big enough to include disturbance. It's big enough to include your questions, your doubts. It's big enough to include your yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. What about, what about, what about? That's again your awesome power to assume that you don't quite know, you don't fully understand, which some of us have been practicing quite a bit. And what if my role is not so much to answer questions and give guidance or any of that? It's just to not believe you, not believe you when you say, I don't understand, I don't know. Just refuse to believe you. Just be adamant that that's a nice try, but not buying it. What if that's my only role, if any? And just being here, something is getting streamlined. Something continues to open, continues to blossom, continues to allow the thoughts to do their thoughts thing, the emotions to do their emotions thing, the awareness to do its awareness thing. And that super intelligence that's orchestrating every single thing to do its thing, the mind of God. Let thy will be done, not mine. Let thy will be done, not mine. Like the outer world is energetically reflected in my inner world. And as I give space for any dryness, any tightness, any heaviness that there might be in me, just to give space to that. Then it has its own way of resolving itself. And that reflects in the so-called outer world. When it's inwardly resolved, it's outwardly dissolved. I think the fruit of this is that we move through life with less and less resistance, more and more flow, less and less getting stuck, getting hooked, getting into a spiral, more and more kind of flow, flowing over, under, and around everything, through everything. And it's just that much cleaner, it's that much simpler. And the streamlining of our being radiates outward in whatever way it has to create a whole experience of symmetry, synchronicity, silence, and flow. It's not something to be believed, it's something to be tasted. And you can taste it right now. And again, I'm not giving you anything. I'm returning to you what's yours. Reminding you of what's yours. But please understand that very clearly. It'll be a mistake to allocate any of this outside yourself. That'll be a mistake. That creates a new layer of dependency, which is fine. It's just another awesome ability to feel dependent. But you can see if that's really required. So any such thought that I'm almost there, it's just around the corner, it's just barely out of reach, but I'm almost there. Notice how that thought also is yet another awesome power to create illusion, separation, distance. Once I apply this lesson, once I read this book, once I internalize this message, once I really reflect on this, meditate on this, own this, then, once I apply this in my difficult situations of life, then, once I'm consistent with this, then, and those thoughts have their own taste. Our feelings instantly give us absolute reading on the taste of any thought whatsoever. And who are you without those thoughts? Who are you without that story? Just take one step down. One step down. Just climb out of that dark bungalow of separation. And just step back into the light. One of the comments I get quite often is, if this could also be in Hindi, काश ये हिंदी में होता. पर हम आपको कुछ सिखाने की कोशिश तो नहीं कर रहे हैं। आपको बस निमंत्रण दे रहे हैं कि आप इस क्षण से कनेक्ट हो जाएं, अपना मन को थोड़ा ढीला करें, हृदय को थोड़ा ढीला करें, पूरे शरीर को थोड़ा ढीला करें। और ये तो बस एक अवसर है। और जो अंदर का खालीपन है, ये नेगेटिव शब्द नहीं है, खालीपन, अंदर की जो शून्यता है, उसको जानें, उसको समझें, उसको छुएं। और बस उसके बाद जो भी होना है अपने आप होगा। फिर मैं जो भी बोल रहा हूँ वो तो बस उसी बात पे वापस ला रहा हूँ आपको, उसी बात को मैं दोहरा रहा हूँ अलग अलग तरीकों से। तो असल में जब हिंदी में नहीं है तो जो भी थोड़ा बहुत आपको समझ में आ रहा है वो काफी है, काफी से भी ज्यादा। ज्यादा शब्द होते हैं तो और सेपरेशन, डिस्टेंस, दूरी क्रिएट करते हैं। सो इट्स अ ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ नथिंग। हम इस प्रकार के सेशन में आपको कुछ नहीं दे रहे हैं। और वो कितनी सुंदर बात है कि कुछ भी नहीं दे रहे हैं, कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा है। नहीं तो दिन का हर क्षण क्या मिलेगा, क्या मिलेगा, इससे क्या मिलेगा, उससे क्या मिलेगा, इससे क्या लाभ होगा, उससे क्या लाभ होगा, पूरा दिन, whole day goes into calculation. What will I get from this? What will I get from that? And what a gift to be promised nothing and then to keep the promise to give you nothing. And then whatever is received did not come from outside. It was your own property. बाहर से नहीं मिली आपको कोई चीज। फिर से वो गलती मत बनाइए, किसी और से मिली है, नित्या जी से मिली है, कहीं से नहीं मिल रही। तो लगता है यही लाइफ पर्पस है। दिस इज द पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ, to just make oneself open and vacant and available and allow what wants to come through. And doing things not from a place of what can I get from this or what's missing, but from this place of completeness, wholeness. And of course, we can forget. And that's awesome. We have the power to forget and therefore empathize. Therefore, see what it's like to be in a prison cell, see what it's like to be in a ghetto, see what it's like to be stuck for a short while. And the light fills that as well, radiates through that as well, shines as that as well. बहुत बढ़िया. आज के लिए इतना ही. Very good. This is what we have for today. Thank you for joining me in this transmission of nothing and tuning in to whatever came up for you in this process. All right, everyone.